When we were on a Zoom meeting, it was like the coach, the director, then it was the mental health consultant, and then the teacher, and then the parent, like all seeing this unfold on this Zoom screen was like, look how many people are at bat for this child. Look how many supporters this child has in his corner. So it's just being able to see it kind of all come together full circle and then him going off into kindergarten, and then us feeling like we made a difference in how his kindergarten year was going to begin. So I just thought that the relationship that we had with Kristen and with the whole program in general just really played out very nicely.
A unique experience during COVID. You know, we've either had people who have passed away or we've experienced it ourselves. But like a year and a half of an accumulation of scares. And so I think just losing the teacher really just put me in a funk, and having just some time to like hang out with Bruce and just talk about what had happened was really what I needed. And so it just kind of goes back to this, like, knowing that I'm like not in this alone. And even Natty, I think, was talking about it as like, you know, sometimes our job is heavy. And it's gotten heavier. So yes, we do have, you know, our coaching peers, but this addition of the mental health consultant team has just kind of like added this layer that I didn't really know I needed. And so reaching out in times like that was really meaningful.
Yes, as I said, they are so excited about you all. They cannot wait. The teachers say you are the best things that have ever happened to us. I think getting that one-on-one specific trained support from somebody who's talking directly to them about their problems and isn't doing it in a generalized coaching way is something they've never had before. And that it comes free with, you know, with early achievers, is amazing. I'm so grateful because there has been only positive feedback. And quite frankly, the providers that you're serving, I'm not hearing their issues about, you know, challenging behaviors or issues with families anymore.
For me, so I mean, I think they see a team rather than just these siloed practices going on. And I think that's really helpful. Sometimes I feel like I was just going through the moments, just working and not really realizing that I needed something for myself to, you know, feel like I was successful. And there was some word that she did say in one of our meetings. And she said something about just the simple fact that we can say to someone, you're here, it's just really impactful. And sometimes you just need one word. And that word impacted me because, you know, I lost family members. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things going on. And so I was able to take that and also share it with my providers, because in reality, we are, you know, I'm glad that you're here, you know. So anyway, I just thought that it would have been beneficial for us to come together and for her to help me formulate questions that were meaningful and, you know, that we could actually use at the PLC with directors.
As far as like my coaching goes, I feel like it's been impactful for me personally, because now I have all that knowledge. Being a part of the process has kind of filled my bucket of knowledge in a different area where maybe that was lacking. And now I have resources, connection, and again, just overall knowledge to be able to kind of tiptoe into some of these areas where I was a little uncomfortable before. So maybe I can tackle some of those things, you know, prior to needing a referral. Not necessarily saying I'm doing your job in any means, but like, at least like I can reach them and meet their needs in a different aspect, and feel a little bit more comfortable with it. Because I think it was that comfortability before, because sometimes you get into some pretty intense conversations or some intense topics that didn't really feel sometimes, I don't know if it was just an comfortable piece, or maybe the relationship wasn't quite there yet. I'm not quite sure, but being a part of the process has given me some extra skills in those areas.
Awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, part of our program is that our services are meant to end, but you're going to keep being the coach at this provider long after us. And so we want to be able to help broaden and expand and build your learning so that you feel comfortable and confident providing that. So that's great that you're getting that. That means that we're doing our job if we can leave and you're feeling like, yep, I have all these new tools and resources and I can offer these to providers now. That's great.
Mhm. I use the term a lot, like the oxygen mask. You have to put it on yourself before you can care for others. So making sure that you're in a safe place. And I think that's been coming out a little bit more easily, probably also because of where we are in current day, that I think it's just relatable to talk about it. And I think that being relatable to my providers is really important to me. And so, yeah, I think that it again, it comes from that the relationship, I think, is kind of like the roots of it all before you can kind of branch out and figure out where else to go and know what their needs are. So
I usually now recently been talking to destigmatize the mental health piece, talking to providers about just as way that you're receiving coaching for child development, mental health consultation is sort of coaching and supporting you in social emotional development and supporting children's social emotional development. So there's like all connected. As we're teaching children to develop and grow, we're also teaching them to have a social emotional growth and development as they're growing. We're giving them that map.
I like to think of sort of the consultation role as encompassing maybe not the kitchen sink, but at least, maybe the kitchen. We do cover quite a range of questions and issues with regard to mental health, of course, of young children. But also I've found myself, I was just reflecting on the breadth of issues that we've consulted about, and it has included grief and loss of parents or providers and coaches too. We're all human, right? So we are all experiencing a lot of stress around COVID. So a lot of that consultation has revolved around how to deal with stress and how to maintain healthy balance in your life.
About the coach and the consultant relationship, it's pretty critical. Like in this example, the coach is really active with this particular site and then with this teacher too, and has already suggested some good strategies and in helping the classroom during some of these big outbursts that are going on. And so that relationship that I have with that coach is really helping us. Helps me, but it helps, I think, the provider to have a team that comes in and helps when we have big stuff like this going on. And I hope we keep emphasizing that this team approach, having coach and mental health consultant, is so critical and helpful, I think, to the providers.
Yes, and I just wanted to say, speaking of co-regulation, which I know Yvette brought up, like, I don't know about you, Bruce, but yeah, I like my coach, like the coaches that I work with, like we lean on each other to be able to model and hold that space so that it can trickle out and there's enough folks to be there to support these highly stressed systems right now. So thank you for bringing that up.
We need them right this second.
Absolutely. And something that, I'm kind of thinking about in this conversation is that I came to one of your trainings, Jody, and then I've also been able to use that kind of teaming and collaboration partnership, and then have gone to other sites and been able to say, wow, I did this training from one of our coaches. Let me bring this forward as something you guys could be doing or trying, and kind of walking through that with them. And I think it builds that confidence and trust between the provider and the coach, and then also between coach and MHC, and then between the MHC and the provider. It really signifies that, like, we are a team, we're all learning from each other, and we all want to make sure that we're having that collaboration and communication.
Yes.
More of this great work together to come, and we are better together.